Welcome everybody. It's the round of 16. Excitement's getting high. What an amazing time we had during the group phases. I must say that group phase was one of the best group phases ever. Especially that last round, the last 4 days, with things going crazy. Saudi Arabia, uh, Saudi Arabia, Mexico, Poland. Looking at goal difference, Japan. How did they find a way past Spain, knocking Germany out? There was a stage where Costa Rica and Japan were going through, Spain and Germany were going out. There was a stage when yellow cards were deciding the match between Poland and Mexico. Eventually decided on goal difference, but there was so much of drama, and it's led us to this. It's led us to the knockout phase. So finally, we're here. In many ways, this is the start of the proper side of the World Cup, and this is where the champions get decided. Where the cream rises to the top, or does it? Are we looking at some upsets? Are we not? So, as you can see, we have the draw for the round of 16. I'll just do a quick prediction. Some of my earlier predictions were okay. Some were really, really bad. So I must hold my hand up high and say, wow, I love it. I love being wrong because it means that there's been a surprise somewhere. There's been some craziness. So first games first. Netherlands versus USA. I see a lot of pundits saying this is the tightest game of the knockout stage. I agree to an extent, but I think the Dutch finally come good. Uh, Cody Gakpo has in many ways led the Dutch team into this second round. Memphis Depay is getting back to match fitness, so I see the Dutch rising above a level. The US will give a great account for themselves, but I see the Dutch maybe getting an early one and a late one. So I'm going for a 2-0 victory to the Dutch. Okay. Next up, we have Argentina versus Australia. There's only one winner here. I'm not even sure how Australia got to this stage of the World Cup with 2 wins. They beat Denmark in the final game. Denmark, in many ways, no showed in that match. They were horrible by all accounts, especially in that final match where you know you need to win. Australia hung in there, got their goal, and they defended with their lives. They played an amazing, amazing match, and they thoroughly deserve, on the back of that performance and the Tunisia performance as well, to get through to the stage. But this is another level, and this is a step too far. I'm going Argentina 4. I'll give Australia 1. Confidence boosters. Next up, France versus Poland. As you know, I have a soft spot in my heart for Poland. But if you look at this tournament and if you look at performance, Poland in many ways is one of the worst teams to qualify out the group. They were poor in their first game against Mexico. They were they took their chances against Saudi Arabia, but for most of that game, Saudi Arabia were the better team. And in their last game against Argentina, where everything was on the line, I'm not even sure how they managed to scrape by. So Poland were very poor, but stubborn in many ways. So they will give France a run for their money. But I see the French coming through 3-0. Next up is the game I think is actually the closest among the round of 16, and that's England versus Senegal. Senegal were not bad in if you look at their 3 games against the Dutch, they were very good for about 70-75 minutes of that game. Against Qatar, you'd expect them to win, so I'm not going to read too much in that game. But against Ecuador, when they needed to fight, they were there. They were ready. They had some quality in that team. I see this Senegal team as being very, very dangerous, and I'm going to go 1-1. But I can see a an eventual winner here in Senegal. So Senegal winning in extra time. So that's my prediction for this. Next up, Japan versus Croatia. Very, very. This is the game we didn't think we'd see in the round of 16. This is thanks to Japan's winner in that final round of games that knocked out Germany. So Japan 100% deserve to be here, because if you beat Germany and you beat Spain, doesn't matter. You deserve to be here and winning your group. Croatia have been solid in all three games, if not spectacular. They did dismantle Croatia, but they've been solid. A good midfield in Brozovic, Modric, and Kovacic, and a finisher in Kramaric as well. So decent all around the park. Japan very good as a unit, very good as a unit. This is going to be an entertaining game. I see the Japanese taking the lead, but I see the Croatians coming back and winning. Brazil, South Korea. This game is actually it's made for the way South Korea like to counterattack. Uh, but having said that, South Korea getting here through that group that included Uruguay and Ghana in the way that they did, that wave of emotion, they will put their entire heart and sleeve into this match. A nation will expect. I see them fighting, I see them scoring, but I do see Brazil winning eventually 3-1. Morocco and Spain. Morocco, very much the dark horse, because they are a solid team. They were been pretty good in most of their matches, actually. And if I'm honest, their defensive stability, the quality of their play, Hakim Ziyech is coming around, Mazraoui is coming around. There is quality in this team. Spain will dominate possession. They always dominate possession, but Morocco doesn't mind that. Morocco does not mind the opposition having possession. I think they're probably the one team that actually has the least possession out of all 16 teams. So there's a stat for you. Uh, so Spain will dominate. Very tight. A very late winner or an extra time winner for Spain. Portugal and Switzerland. Strange one here, because Portugal lost their last game after making multiple changes. Uh, Switzerland came back in a back and forth match against Serbia, where the winner would get through. They took the lead, and then the Serbians came back to take 2-1 lead, and then Switzerland came back to win 3-2. Not normal for a Swiss team to score 3 goals, but again, not normal for a Swiss team to concede 2 goals in that game. They will be very defensively solid, very good on the counter attack. If Portugal steps up, they win this game easily. But in the 3 games for Portugal, they lost one. The one against Ghana, they were fortunate to get that penalty. And the one against Uruguay, I'll give them great amount of credit, because they really stepped up. If they play the way they played against Uruguay, this should be an easy 2-0 win. If any of the other two teams shows up, I see this going 0-0 and all the way to penalties. And on their day, I'm going to say Switzerland to come through on penalties. All right, so that's my round of 16 predictions. I am probably going to be wrong with about 3 of them, but I don't mind. This is the best part of the World Cup. I love it. I wait every 4 years for it, and this is why I'm going to enjoy it to the fullest. Have a lovely round of 16, everybody. We'll catch you again soon.